Hey guys! Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back to another episode of Talk Spooky to Me Tuesdays, which might actually be uploaded on Tuesday.
Who knows?
But if you haven't checked out our other videos of this series, you definitely need to check it out. We have those uploaded on our channel. And we also have spooky things to do, specifically around Orlando. We just posted our thoughts on Halloween Horror Nights, which is why we look like a hot mess.
Yeah, sticky.
As well as a sneak peek look at their tribute store and their special Halloween bar. Guys, it's really cool.
It's super cool.
Yeah, so they don't have Halloween Horror Nights, but they still have spooky stuff.
At least it's something to do.
Yes.
And if you're tired of seeing our faces and you'd rather just listen, check us out on Spotify. We also have a TikTok and Instagram. We got a blog. Subscribe, follow, and comment. You guys already know. We love hearing from you and interacting, so please always feel free to leave a suggestion or just stop by and say hi.
Please. And today we have a really bizarre missing person case. One that will honestly keep you up at night. I think about this case a lot.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. There's a lot of weird circumstances surrounding the case, but without further ado, let's get started.
Also, I just want to give a shout out. We have a special guest, Kyle. His name is Kyle.
Do you like him? Comment below if you want to keep seeing Kyle.
We love Kyle. They're besties.
All right. Okay. Today we'll be talking about the disappearance of Bryce Laspisa, who has been missing since 2013. This is a really sad case, a lot of weird things, so let's get started.
So, background about Bryce and his family. Bryce was born on April 30th, 1994 to Karen and Michael Laspisa in Illinois. They lived here for most of his life until his parents retired and decided to move to Laguna, California. Bryce attended Sierra College in Chico, California, which was only 450 miles away from his parents, so it was still a drive, but at least they were in the same state.
It wasn't too far.
Yeah.
Described by his parents, Bryce was really social. He had a lot of friends and even a girlfriend named Kim. In 2013, Bryce was entering his sophomore year at college and was studying industrial and graphic design, which he did really well in.
But things began to change for Bryce. His parents started getting phone calls from his girlfriend as well as his college roommate named Sean, saying that Bryce's behavior had changed and that he started acting really weird. Sean also mentioned that Bryce decided to give his diamond earrings that actually belonged to his mother and his Xbox to him, which that's a red flag. If a man is parting ways with his Xbox, what's happening?
Huge red flag.
Kim, his girlfriend, said one day she got a text message from Bryce saying, "You're better off without me," which never a good sign.
No, that's really sad. We also wanted to mention that Bryce did have ADHD, and at the time he was taking a medication called Vyvanse. Vyvanse. Yeah. Which is supposed to give you energy and make you focus. However, like any medication, it does have its side effects, including anxiety, blood circulation problems, stiffness of muscles, and hallucinations. So this is a pretty powerful drug that keeps you wired, and you're not supposed to be mixing it with alcohol. But Bryce was mixing it because he was known for partying, or it was assumed that he was.
On August 29th, 2013, Bryce had gone over to Kim's place and again was acting really weird. So then Kim called Bryce's mom, Karen, and after explaining to her what was going on, Bryce eventually took the phone from Kim. And he told his mom that he broke up with her and that he had some things to tell her when he got home. At first, his mom offered to just get on a plane, to buy a plane ticket and just to fly out there to see him, and Bryce agreed and said he was going to drive back to the apartment from Kim's, but Kim didn't give Bryce the key. She didn't want to. She didn't think that he was in the right state of mind to be driving, which is interesting. Both parents asked him repeatedly on the phone, "Are you okay to drive?" And each time Bryce said yes. So finally, he did get the keys back from Kim. However, Bryce never made it to his apartment.
He told both of us the same thing. He told me, "I want my keys. I want to go home. I broke up with Kim. She won't give me the keys." And I said, "Bryce, are you okay?" "Yes, I'm fine, Dad."
I said, "Bryce, I'm worried." I said, "Let me come up there tomorrow. Let me fly up there tomorrow." And he says, "Mom, no, don't make an airline reservation until I talk to you because I have a lot to talk to you about."
Karen asks Kim to give Bryce his keys back. And Bryce leaves her place in Chico around 11:30 p.m. Karen says that over the phone, Bryce sounded normal to her.
I, as his mom, didn't get the sense that he was distraught over what he was doing. Bryce didn't seem heartbroken. I said, you just need to get back to your apartment and go to sleep and call me in the morning. And he said, okay.
Bryce's parents both wonder what their son meant when he said, I have a lot to talk to you about.
So things really took a turn for the worst on August 30th. At around 11 a.m., Bryce's parents, Karen and Michael, got a voicemail from Bryce informing them that he had used their roadside assistance plan at 9 a.m. after his car ran out of gas in West Bakersfield. A man named Christian brought him 3 gallons of gas as he waited in the car, and Bryce charged $20 worth of fuel to his parents' credit card.
The credit card records show he was in Buttonwillow, which was about a 3-hour drive from his parents' house. His parents assumed their son was on their way home to visit them. Karen and Michael both tried phoning their son, but he didn't answer. Hours later, when Bryce didn't arrive, they called Castro Tire and Gas, the company which brought him the gas the first time. And they asked the same man, Christian, to go back and check on Bryce. When he arrived, he found Bryce sitting in his car in the exact same spot where he left him. So that's already weird. He's been here for hours, hasn't moved, not answering his parents' calls. Like, obviously something is going on. When Christian asked Bryce what he was doing, he replied, just nothing. He informed Bryce's parents that he was okay, although his eyes did seem a little bit red, according to Christian.
Yeah.
So
very weird circumstances.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, his parents were worried.
Right.
Like, that's just strange. So they finally spoke to their son at 12:30 that afternoon. He told them he was on the way to their house, but 3 p.m. came around and he still didn't show. And that's a 3-hour drive, so like about a 3-hour drive. So he should have been there if he was on his way. So for the next 6 hours, Bryce's parents tried contacting him, but he kept ignoring their calls. When they tracked their son's cell phone, they saw he only traveled 8 miles over the course of 9 hours.
And remember, he never went back to his apartment.
No.
From leaving his girlfriend's house. So this entire time he's been in his car. Not answering his parents' phone calls, like, what? I just wish I knew what was going through his head or what he was thinking, because that's so weird. That's bizarre.
It's very strange.
By 9 p.m., Bryce's parents were frantic, so they called the California Highway Patrol, which was a good decision.
Yeah.
They searched for Bryce, and they finally found him still in his vehicle on Lagoon Drive in Buttonwillow. They conducted a sobriety test, and Bryce was perfectly fine. He wasn't high or drunk or anything. Since he was a legal adult and sober, the police couldn't really do much, but asked him to call his mom and continued his journey home.
So Bryce was reluctant to call his parents, so much so that the police had to physically dial the number for him on his phone.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't understand. And they made him talk to his mom at around 10 p.m. She asked what he was doing, and he told her he was going to hang out with friends later. So, like, his plans completely...
His stories are so different.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was obvious he was...
going through something.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
At 11 p.m., Bryce stopped at a gas station and purchased a drink for $1.71. He told his mom he was on I-5 South, but didn't give her any more information. At some point in the night, Bryce did stop at a Valerio gas station and purchased $39 worth of gas, which at this point, as if I was a parent, I would be like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm stopping everything I'm doing and I'm coming to you, because obviously something's wrong.
Yeah.
He's not answering his phone consistently. And a lot of people do put the blame on his parents, but I'm sure they do regret it.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I feel like it's not fair, because they obviously knew their son well enough to not think or assume that something wrong was happening.
Yeah.
But still, it's extremely odd behavior. To be in
Extremely
a car for that long and not move, what was it, 8 miles?
Yeah. And then they're not close either. It's not like they could
Right.
just drive and, like, you know, it's like a 3-hour drive almost. So
Right.
who knows, like, what was going through their head, what they thought their son was going through. But I know they
Exactly.
didn't think, you know, that this was
Something
gonna
bad was going to happen.
So once again during the night, Bryce called his parents' roadside assistance. It had now been 13 hours and Bryce was still in the same spot. He literally had not moved at all. This time, roadside assistants followed Bryce onto the highway to make sure he was actually moving. At this point, Bryce's estimated arrival time was 3:25 a.m. So just a full day.
Yeah.
He called his mom at 1:50 a.m. to tell her he had gotten off I-5, but he had gotten back on it. He called his mom again at 2:09 a.m. and said he was too tired to drive and was going to pull over for the night and continued driving once he had taken a nap. His parents said okay and then hung up. I'm sure they thought like it was a whole day, so they were like, okay, he's tired. We don't want
after
him
this
driving.
nap, he's really gonna come home. Maybe this is finally it. But
yeah. So unfortunately, this would be the last time they ever spoke to Bryce.
It was discovered Bryce didn't pull over to sleep, but instead continued driving for another 90 minutes to Castaic Lake, which is also in California.
Yes.
On August 30th at 8 a.m., police showed up to Bryce's parents' home and told them that Bryce had been in a car accident. His car was found near the lake in California. Bryce, however, was not found in the car, but all of his belongings were. His keys, his phone, his laptop, everything that he brought with him was still in the car, but he was missing. There was tire marks found near the ledge of this lake, and we'll show you a picture of what it looks like. Police also found 2 drops of blood inside the car, and probably one of the most weirdest facts about this case, though, is that the back window of his car had been knocked out, but police figured out that it wasn't from the crash. Police said someone from the inside forcefully broke the window as if somebody was trying to escape the car.
So bizarre. Yeah. That's so weird.
Yeah.
You can't even put the scenario together because it kind of doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. He keeps telling his parents different things.
Yeah.
He's not answering. He's not moving.
Yeah.
Finally, he drives to a lake, and for what?
Yeah. It's very weird.
Bizarre.
Police began an intense search to try to find him. They searched the surrounding areas. They had drivers search the lake, and nothing. After checking the cameras at some of the local stops and gas stations Bryce was around, police did find footage of Bryce driving at 2:15 a.m. and then again on that same road at 4:29 a.m. So it was almost like he was driving in a loop.
Right.
But nothing ever came of this, and Bryce has never been found.
So now we're going to get into some of the theories around what happened, what was Bryce thinking possibly. One of the most popular theories is that Bryce was trying to commit suicide, that he took his time, which is why he never made it home. Yeah. He was trying to avoid his parents, maybe knowing he was never going to actually make it. And he was trying to convince himself to just end his life. A lot of people believe this theory based on some of the evidence that was found. For instance, like the tire marks that were left by his car. Could it have been that he was just trying to floor it, literally, drive off this ledge, land in the water, and then just drown? However, even though this might have been his intention, Bryce was, again, never found in or near the water or even in the car, and the back window was broken, like the police said, like someone was trying to escape. So is it possible that this was his original plan, but then he decided to back out of it and just decided to leave instead?
This is crazy.
Bizarre.
Many people also think that the medication he was taking, Vyvanse, caused this psychotic break, which in turn caused the odd behavior. Or is it possible that the accident was just that, an accident? But Bryce became disoriented afterwards, had a concussion or hurt his head enough to where he couldn't remember things like where he was or where he was going, and is currently homeless, lost, and wandering.
There's been a lot of stories like that where people wind up disoriented, whether it's from an accident or just something happened to them mentally, and family members go missing and then they're found like years later.
Yeah, because they don't know who they are, they don't know where to go.
So it's not that uncommon, so that's possible.
Yeah.
Another theory is that he abandoned his car and was picked up by someone else. What's interesting is that the police did bring in bloodhounds to track his scent, and the dogs did pick something up.
Dogs actually trailed Bryce's scent across the dam, which it has a roadway across the dam, and then south down the spillway on the west side of the lake, and then it picked it up again on the west side of the spillway and then out towards the truck stop area.
At that point, the scent trail dissipated.
But with all of these theories comes to the same conclusion, that it's more than likely that Bryce is still out there.
Robert Martindale is convinced that Bryce is still alive. He's just not sure that he wants to be found.
the fact that we haven't found any signs of Bryce or any activity of Bryce, I think he's just kind of wanted to get off the grid for a bit. I know in my heart he's out there somewhere. I just don't know where.
We've heard some other theories out there for our more conspiracy inclined friends, tinfoil hats, if you will. Put them on. So what's really bizarre is that a lot of people actually go missing in state parks. That part is 100% true. It's just no one can ever explain why when people literally just vanish without a trace. And
there's a whole documentary on this.
A whole documentary. Like,
it's really weird, really interesting.
Very bizarre. Let us know if you want us to do a video on this because it's so weird and we would love to do a video on this. But Castaic Lake is on a state park. Not only that, but there was also a military base called Edwards Military Base that wasn't far from this lake. So
now there is the theory that Bryce planned all of this, planned to fake a crash, fake his death, and possibly join the military, specifically for a special program which would require him to leave his entire family behind, his friends, his entire life. Or maybe he saw something close to the base that he wasn't supposed to see and somebody had him taken care of. We know it sounds really crazy and probably unlikely, but we just like to give you some variety, and it is a conspiracy and a theory that's out there, so we just thought it was interesting to note.
Definitely. So some updates. There's really not much, unfortunately, but a burned body was found in the area where Bryce wrecked his car. It ended up not belonging to the missing teen and was a 35-year-old man from Los Angeles who was shot and killed in Hawthorne and then dumped in the area around the lake. But for a long time, before they identified the body, it was so burned, so they weren't sure.
Right.
They thought it was him, but it ended up not being him.
A cyclist found a body set on fire in the same area.
Condition of the body right now, because of being burned, we're unable to determine who that is, and the coroner's going to have to provide a positive identification for us.
In a tragic coincidence, investigators determined the burned body was not Bryce.
There have been a lot of sightings, mostly of homeless men fitting Bryce's description that people believe to be him. Officers have even gone to homeless camps to look for him, but still there's been no trace of Bryce.
And like we said, it's very, not very common, but it happens.
It has happened, yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe something happened, he doesn't remember who he is.
Right.
So they have searched. There's been, we'll mention their Facebook later, but if you look on their Facebook, there has been so many sightings of people seeing homeless men. They're oh, I think this is Bryce, I think this is Bryce. So.
And I can't imagine their mom holding on to hope, every single time they get a call of a possibility of, possible sighting, and you're holding on to that, and then it's not.
That
breaks my heart, yeah.
The Laspisa family have apparently also consulted a psychic to help with the case, and one of them told Bryce's mom that she sees that Bryce is in or around the lake, surrounded by dirt and trees. But other than that, the psychic wasn't getting much. The family has actually consulted many psychics, and none of them have been accurate, or their information varies from him being alive to him being deceased. I feel they're so desperate for answers. In that situation, who knows what you would do?
And it's extremely common in a lot of cases for people as a last resort, even people who normally don't even believe in that kind of thing. When you've done all that you could have done, police, everything,
why not?
Why not? Why not talk to somebody? And sometimes answers are found. Sometimes bodies get found, but more often than not, I feel it makes me sad to see that they're holding on. Yeah. That they're doing literally everything in their power, and it's still not enough.
And it's they're literally getting nothing. Yeah. There's no leads. There's nothing. Yeah. Like we said, other than that, there are no other updates. There really aren't many leads or clues, and it's just incredibly heartbreaking. Yeah. But the family has not given up hope, and they always update the public, like I said, on their Facebook, which we'll link and we'll mention. And it's dedicated to finding him, and just there's been so many updates, but nothing has led anywhere. And that, I can't imagine how incredibly heartbreaking that is. And to see how hard they're working on this, it's sad. It's really sad.
If Bryce is still alive out there, that he doesn't know who he is. I mean, because I truly don't believe that Bryce is willingly not contacting me.
Through the clouds of mystery is unwavering hope and a painful drive to find answers. A parent's quest to find their son.
It's been 3 years of a nightmare.
But 3 years later, still no word. Still no answers.
So what do you think most likely happened? What's your opinions?
I feel like two things. I feel like one is, the fact that he was trying to commit suicide is very likely. It just doesn't make sense why he would break the back window or
Right.
That's the part that I don't get, and that's the part that steers me off of that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that he's disoriented. I think that for me is the most likely.
Yeah.
And he just got lost, doesn't remember who he is. He's homeless somewhere,
I do believe he's alive.
Yeah.
And same thing. I think maybe he really was trying to commit suicide. It makes sense with how he was acting. He was acting really weird, and maybe the drug he was on really had some mental effect on him. He had a psychotic break, because that's happened. It can cause schizophrenia, hallucinations. Like, who knows? So and I think that's what's the most bizarre thing about this case is we don't even know what was going through his head. We don't know why he was doing the things he was doing. We just know he drove 8 miles in 13 hours, longer than that, and that's it.
Yeah,
like
something was definitely going on internally.
Sure.
Like, for sure. It's hard to say. There's no lead. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. But if you're listening, Bryce has red hair. He is 5'11", and at least the last time he was seen, he weighed 170 pounds. Like we mentioned, there's a whole Facebook dedicated to keep Bryce's memory alive and to spread awareness around his case. So if you're watching, please share his photo, the Facebook page, this video to keep raising awareness for Bryce and his family. We'll link the Facebook page below. But definitely, if you've seen anything, heard anything, any tips, definitely contact them.
We'll also link down below. There's a phone number that you can call, as well as an email. If you've seen anything, know anything, we'll make sure to leave that below just in case.
I hope this gets solved.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's
for
so
the sake of him
weird.
And their family.
I can't imagine.
I can't. But that's it, guys. That's it for today for Talk Spookatimin Tuesdays. Make sure to watch all our other series and keep an eye out for another spooky thing that's coming soon. Spooky things to do.
We love you guys.
Bye.